Trump Gaza is finally here. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza #1. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza #1.
Listen, we fucked up.
As Muslims stand with President Trump because he promises peace.
I'm not just voting for Trump. I am endorsing him and telling my community to vote for him as well.
If you don't want to vote for Jill, vote for Donald Trump. But do not give a vote to Kamala Harris and expect to be welcomed by my community.
Wasting your vote and helping to get Trump elected. Who would like to take that first?
Well, if Trump does get elected, that's not our problem.
He promises peace. That's why. Guys, and I got you a good one today. He is the peace president. You guys don't understand that. You guys do not understand. They voted for the orange buffoon because the orange buffoon promised them to have peace. Okay, yes, because he's just such a peace president. Because the last time he was the peace president, okay, when he did the travel ban, then he just made people be against Muslims, and they forgot how that went the last time. That they got a lot of sentiment anti-Muslim in the whole country, where people got almost killed, and maybe some people got really hurt. Yeah, I remember they didn't kill a person, but they went after an Hindu. Okay, I think it was in South Carolina, if I don't remember it wrong, and they hurt that person really, really bad. It was attacks or intent or attacks in in the Muslim community, and yes, and because he promised them peace, guys, you don't understand. He promised them peace, so they went and voted for him, and now they have exactly a FAFO moment, okay? Yes, because they have to believe. You know, we have a person that there was a lawyer. He was well prepared. He was the vice president of our nation, but they decided because the convicted felon offered them peace, so they went and voted for the convicted felon. And the convicted felon have been proven to be a liar all the freaking time. So guys, yes, we're gonna talk about peace in here. Oh my God, it's Ken. Guys, I was laughing the whole time preparing this video. I was like, I cannot, you know, I was just preparing the clips because people that you're going to be able to see in a few minutes, these people are specialists in these specific things, the ARABS, and how they are paying the consequences right now, and they can explain it to you even better than I can explain it. But I was just laughing the whole time. I was just laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing because I was like, how people can be so stupid? How they can be so stupid? So stay towards the end. Please don't forget to drop a like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Towards the end, I'm gonna give you my real opinion on all these things, and it's just crazy, guys. It is crazy. So drop a like, and we are paying the price. Yes, with the president of peace. Oh my goodness, so much peace.
Also, guys, not to be really political, I'm not political on here, but I don't care. I've been seeing a lot of Iraqis, like a lot of Arabs, specifically Iraqis, who have been like cheering on Trump. I've had to follow so many this past month, but they've been reposting shit about Trump. I just want to say, Trump doesn't give a fuck about y'all. I hope you know that. Like, I don't know if you think you're the fucking chosen Arabs or something, but he does not like you guys. Anyways, I just wanted to get that out there. If you like Trump, block me.
Muslims for Trump. Yeah, there is such a thing. They said they voted for him because he promised peace in the Middle East and that he cared about Muslim lives. I wonder how they feel about it. Now, watch this.
We as Muslims stand with President Trump because he promises peace. He promises peace, not war.
Well, I mean, it is a different year and another day he could change his mind, right?
Hey, so let me get this straight, man. You wanted ICE to deport the criminals, but they came for your husband instead? Holy shit, dude. Talk about regretting your vote, man. Now, this woman says she fully believed only criminals were getting detained. Meanwhile, ICE said bet and packed up her baby daddy like leftovers at a Thanksgiving dinner table. Now she's 7 months pregnant, y'all. And guess who ain't gonna be there at the baby shower? Ma'am, you supported this bullshit. What in the hell did you think was gonna happen? You supported Trump to deport the criminals. And now your husband's on a no-fly list? Your kids have no father to come home to? All thanks to your vote? Cry me a river, lady.
Muslims stand with President Trump because he promises peace.
So did he promise y'all peas or peace? Anyway, he's not delivering on none of that.
How many more leaders are Israel and the United States going to eliminate before they're done? Arabs know exactly who's next and who will profit, and Trump seems to be gathering them like trophies. Before I tell you who the next target is, please share this with someone because I feel this will get taken down soon. Now, here's what's actually happening. January 3rd, Maduro seized in Venezuela. Special forces stormed Caracas, took their president. He's now locked up in a Brooklyn detention center. February 28th, Iran's supreme leader eliminated. Khamenei taken out in coordinated strikes. Here's the pattern Arabs see. Trump authored The Art of the Deal. He negotiates first. If they won't agree, he removes them. Maduro held Venezuela's massive oil reserves and refused the terms. Trump had him captured. Khamenei controlled Iran's huge oil wealth and wouldn't give in. Trump had him eliminated. See what ties them together? Oil. So who's watching with concern right now? Cuba. Trump has already floated the idea of a takeover. Syria, with its remaining oil fields still in play. Colombia, wrapped up in its enormous drug economy. Libya, unstable, weak leadership, sitting on valuable reserves. All of them control resources America and its allies want. All of them are witnessing two leaders vanish in quick succession. The clear signal, strike a deal or get replaced. Most scroll by and see scattered headlines, but people who have actually preserved and grown fortunes over decades recognize it instantly. This is the art of the deal enforced with military power. Trump isn't after trophies. He's after oil fields. Never mistake regime change for spreading democracy. View it for what it is, a move to secure resources. If you like practical insight into wealth preservation and the real estate approaches the truly wealthy rely on, comment legacy and I'll reveal more secrets to you.
It's okay to disagree as it pertains to policy. What is never okay is disrespect. What is never okay is political intimidation and political violence.
On another episode of Fuck Around and Find Out, we have Dearborn, Michigan on the ballot. Dearborn, Michigan, with one of the highest populations, if not the highest population of Muslims in America. ICE will be ramping up their ICE deportations in this area. The funny thing about this is that these are the same people who overwhelmingly voted for Trump and Jill Stein. These are also the same people that said they would vote for Satan before they vote for Kamala Harris. That they would vote for anything other than Kamala Harris. And that they would do anything in their power to make sure she does not become president. Well, Muslims of Dearborn, you're getting exactly what you asked for. Now the same people you stood shoulder to shoulder with and stood in unity and voted for Donald Trump with want you to go back to your country. Burning the Quran, throwing bacon at people, disrespecting everything that makes you as Muslims. So let's take a roll call. MAGA farmers, Latinos for Trump, white women, union workers. If you are not a straight, white, upper-class male, you have been getting screwed. FAFO.
Has anybody heard from the Muslim leaders from Hamtramck and Dearborn, Michigan? The mayor of Hamtramck, you know, the one that started praising and kissing Donald Trump's ass just before the election, and said because of Trump's promise to protect Gaza and the Palestinians, everybody should vote for Donald Trump. And he got a whole lot of the Muslim community around Detroit to vote for Donald Trump. I'm just wondering if anybody heard from those leaders. I mean, after Donald Trump came and made the token visit to tell them sweet lies so that they could sell out their own people, they went on the local news channels and told Detroiters, vote for Donald Trump, don't vote for Kamala Harris. Because he stands for Palestine, he stands for peace in that whole conflict. And you could see the sliminess of these leaders, these men who persuaded much of their community to vote for Trump. Has anybody heard from them? I just want to know, has anybody heard? Because Trump barely won Michigan. Had they not followed these shady, slimy leaders, those in the Muslim community, maybe Kamala Harris would have at least won Michigan. But I just want to know, where are they? They're not on our news stations tonight talking about Donald Trump's press conference to take over Gaza. They're not on the news channels here in Detroit. They were all over the place, just like that, when they could be to promote Donald Trump. But where are they tonight? I want to know where the fuck they are.
So reports are coming in that ICE raids are ramping up in Dearborn, Michigan, which is a heavy set of Arab Americans that are anti-America, proclaimed to be anti-America, consistently calling out how they're going to destroy America. So, and somebody who's grew up in Michigan, is from Michigan, and knows the area very well, I couldn't agree with this anymore. Honestly, I think they should have done this a while ago. So I love the fact that they're doing this. Keep it up and get them all out. Honestly, I don't care what it takes. Get them all out.
In January of 2026, I posted about Palestinians that were deported from the United States and hand-delivered to Israeli military. At the time, we didn't have any information on who those individuals were or who the owner of the jet was. We were just speculating. Now we do have some transparency. We do know at least some of the individual names of the Palestinians that were deported and also who owns the private jet that they were put on. So first of all, I want to say that we know at least 2 occasions that this has happened in 2026, where a private citizen's plane was used to deport people from the United States to another place. That's just what we know of. Now, what makes this extra strange is that, first of all, the Israeli military is saying this is unprecedented and strange, that Palestinians from the United States are being deported and hand-delivered to Israeli military. Second of all, why is a private citizen's plane, rather than a government plane, being used to deport people? We now have confirmed that the owner of the private jet, the private citizen that used their private jet to deport Palestinians back to Israeli custody and dropped off, literally, they just dropped them off at a West Bank checkpoint without any assistance, without any coordination, nothing, just dropped these people off, is Gil Dezer, longtime business partner of Donald Trump and also a donator to the Israeli Defense Forces. This Guardian article in particular talks about one of the flights that occurred in 2026. One of the individuals on that flight was Meher Awad, a 24-year-old that had been living in the United States for about 10 years. This is a picture of some of the Palestinians arriving that was published by Haaretz. You can see that they were handcuffed for the entire time of the flight. Also, please note that it is cold in Palestine right now, and they were not properly clothed, given any coats or any protection to the weather. One of the Palestinians in the West Bank that saw these men said, "I was shocked to see them walking towards my house and the village. The Israeli army usually doesn't release prisoners at this checkpoint. They stayed at my place for only 2 hours. During that time, we fed them. They called their families who either came to pick them up or arranged transportation for them." They literally just dropped them off. The Israeli military picked them up from the United States for after they traveled on a private citizen's plane and then just dropped them off.
So it's happening. Mahmoud Khalil is out of here. You heard that right. Mahmoud Khalil will be rearrested and deported back to Algeria. And that's exactly what happens when you fucking get a nice opportunity to come to a beautiful country like the United States, but instead you spit in the faces of Americans and try to rebel on the same government that gave you that beautiful opportunity. Sayonara, Mahmoud. Enjoy Abu Land.
People, this is Tank. So yesterday I put out a post about the announcement that the United States would assume control over Gaza, displace nearly 2 million Palestinians, and develop the land, golf course for Donald Trump, and then, you know, hey, Palestinians, you'll be able to come back eventually, and we all know that that's not going to happen. But that's not what I'm actually talking about right now. What I'm talking about is the protests that the Arab community in my area, which is Dearborn Heights and Dearborn, had yesterday and day before yesterday, where they literally lost their shit over going, "We voted for you, Trump, but now you're taking our homeland." Oh, yes. That is literally the definition of FAFO. The black and brown community, we cannot help you. We warned you, we warned you, we warned you. But you guys did not listen. We cannot help you on this. You need to take this to the Supreme Court. You need to do whatever you can to get his ass out of office, because we can't help you. We warned you. We can't do shit about it. He came for y'all and everybody else out there who voted for him, and you don't think that he's coming for you? Guess what, baby? Get in line. Get in queue, as the British would say. Queue up, because guess what? You're next. Good luck. Don't call on us. We can't help. We stood on business on day one at the voting booth. You guys decided not to, so don't know what to tell you. Have a good day. Happy Thursday.
In war with Iran, I just want to take this opportunity to remind you the U.S. president does not have authority to declare war. That's why they're calling it a major combat operation. What Donald Trump is doing is illegal. The U.S. president does not have the authority under the Constitution to declare war. That power is reserved specifically for Congress. You know, Congress, the same legislative body that the president has consistently been stepping over. There is the War Powers Resolution from 1973 that allows the president to take action, but only if he briefs Congress first, and Congress must be updated and troops withdrawn within 60 days if that does not occur. The president only has executive authority if the U.S. is attacked first. There is absolutely no case to be made that Iran attacked the U.S. first. And again, no case was even made to Congress. This is absolutely illegal and unconstitutional action. Trump exaggerated the risks that Iran poses to the United States, which would be none if we didn't continually support Israel's efforts to bomb the country. And ordinary Americans do not want an endless war in the Middle East. And there's currently a movement in Congress to bring the lawmakers back to Washington, D.C. right now to make a vote to decide whether or not they should limit Donald Trump's executive powers to strike Iran. But the strikes to begin with were an illegal action. This should 100% result in impeachment. Donald Trump's, frankly, bloodthirsty aggression and his miscalculation of Iranian retaliation has already led to the deaths of multiple U.S. personnel. This is no longer America First territory. This is straight up Israel First. Israel matters more to your U.S. president than the lives of U.S. soldiers.
Only 36% of the people in Dearborn, Michigan voted for Vice President Kamala Harris. Donald Trump was the #1 vote getter in those precincts. Recently, a group of far-right demonstrators have stormed the city, protesting and marching and making offensive and inflammatory comments, disrespecting places of worship, condemning Islam, and threatening to burn copies of the Quran. And people of Dearborn stand shocked, surprised, and disappointed. Mayor Abdullah Hammoud and Representative Rashida Tlaib have convened interfaith gatherings at the Islamic Center of America and called for solidarity with these people. They emphasize Dearborn's history of religious diversity and coexistence, refusing efforts to divide the city's diverse, united population. Many residents have been applauded for responding to hate speech with courage, dignity, and messages of love and togetherness. A message of love and togetherness that seems oddly similar to the messages that Vice President Kamala Harris was making on the campaign trail, what she spoke on, but that was soundly rejected by Representative Tlaib and soundly rejected by Mayor Abdullah Hammoud, who did not endorse Kamala Harris in the 2024 presidential election, didn't endorse her at all. I actually remember when she met him and he then came back out and mocked her, made a fool of her, and embarrassed her shortly thereafter, just like Representative Tlaib did at every single chance that she got. I remember this tweet from the people of Dearborn. I will never forget it, never. Well, what's speaking now? What's speaking now is hate. Hate is speaking now in your community, and your community is actually the target of this hate, and it breaks my heart. It is disappointing that a whole new generation of Muslim Americans are learning that their faith is hated by those who they sought favor from, by those same people who hate me for being black, for being LGBT. They hate you too. Your cause for unity won't change a goddamn thing, but your vote could have. Your vote could have made all the difference. And although the majority of Dearborn residents did not stand with me and my community, we fought for Vice President Kamala Harris to be our next president, for what was in our best interest, what was in your best interest. Today I stand with them. Today, in condemning the hate that is attacking their community and affecting our nation. Prayers for peace and protection for all of us.
You read my mind, because I had the exact same thought. The same people that have been screaming for years about how we have to get rid of all the Muslims in our country and now rejoicing because the Muslims in Iran have been liberated. Do we actually think for a moment that these poor people have been liberated? Because they haven't. Saw a post yesterday from a girl on here that is consistently screaming about Muslims and how we need to get rid of them. And she posted a video of the liberation and all the people in Iran who are rejoicing. The hypocrisy is wild. As if she gives a shit. As if Pauline gives a shit. They don't care about the Muslim community that are now liberated, that aren't liberated. They're just using it as another political tool. A bit like Trump sitting with the princes of Saudi Arabia in the next breath now and then screaming about the danger of Islam. We all know what it's about. Money, money, money must be funny in a rich man's world.
The fascism that's been here will finally popping its head out and being loud and proud about it. And unless we do something, really come together, it's gonna get real bad.
It, dog. All I'm gonna say is I got a love-hate relationship with ARABS, however you correctly pronounce that word. Some of them are very, very cool towards black people that I see, and some of them not so much. For instance, there's a little clothing store I go to all the time. Them dudes right there, them some good dudes. They had a gas station. I had an instance where I was about to beat the dog shit out of one of them dudes because I felt like he was playing with my daughter. And a lot of people said to me at that same gas station, yeah, they be tripping in this store, man. Somebody always be about to bat the piss out one of these dudes over here. So it's really store to store, case by case, man, because I know some assholes. Yeah, man.
God damn it, man. Care about humanity. Care about those people. And that goes double for the Republicans. Hey, Republicans, oh, beloved Trump. And what's he doing? He's getting dog walked by Netanyahu.
He sure is.
Dog walked.
Gaza's a nasty place.
What happened to America first? What happened to America first?
We're going to take control of all the Gaza Strip, Netanyahu vowed Monday. We knew that Israel was going to take over the entirety of the Gaza Strip on day one.
We told you that it wasn't just about self-defense. They meant to take Gaza and ethnically cleanse the Palestinians. Please, if you're a decent human being, I don't give a damn if you're a Republican or a right-winger or a left-winger or a Democrat or in the middle. Please, let's stop these monsters from butchering these people with our money. Is starving babies or dehydrating them to death better than what the Germans did? No, it's a real question. It's a literal question. Understand you're going in a museum one day. There's absolutely no argument left. So they're saying, yes, we're gonna drive them out. We're gonna first drive them into southern Gaza, into this uninhabitable place. We're gonna give them the tiniest amount of food so they could barely survive, and then we're gonna start shipping them into other countries so we can steal their homes, so we can steal their entire land. And so don't tell me that wasn't their purpose. Well, they just said that's their purpose. So if you're still supporting this particular government of Israel,
Get to know yourself. Get to know who you are.
and again, this is nonpartisan. If you're offended by us working with Republicans who'd like to stop the war, there's something wrong with you. 4 billion, 8 billion, 20 billion more of our money to slaughter these Palestinian kids. If that's your priority, whether you're on the right or on the left or wherever the hell you think you are, and you think the #1 priority for America should be to make sure that Israel has enough money to slaughter more Palestinian children, you're a disgusting person. Disgusting. And you definitely are not America first.
These headlines just write themselves.
Owner of Trump Burger Restaurants, which has several locations in the Houston area, has been arrested by Immigration and Customs Enforcement and now faces deportation. ICE says Roland Biani, a 28-year-old from Lebanon, overstayed his visa after entering the U.S. back in 2019. He was taken into custody in May and is now out on bond as he awaits immigration proceedings.
What did he expect? You think he's still excited about Trump becoming president?
Look, folks, I really thought I'd never see the day, but this actually just happened. Joe Rogan just called out Donald Trump's election fraud lies on his podcast in front of his audience of millions. Now, this is incredibly significant because Joe Rogan is someone who endorsed Donald Trump in 2024, voted for him in that election, and he supported Trump all the way up until his inauguration. But recently, Rogan has been critical of Trump, especially on the immigration front, which we have covered on this channel. And it's also really important because Joe Rogan's audience is a significant demographic of voters, young men who swung the election toward Donald Trump. So him in this position of influence being critical of Trump is a pretty big deal. So I want to play this clip for you where they provide a side-by-side of Joe Rogan in the present day being critical of Donald Trump for his election fraud lies, and then they include a clip of Donald Trump on Rogan's podcast being confronted for these lies. It's a really good clip, a really good side-by-side. Before we dive into this clip, though, I want to point out that Joe Rogan is doing this podcast with a comedian, Dave Smith. This is also somebody who voted for Donald Trump, but has now turned critical of him. And recently, in an interview, he actually apologized for voting for Donald Trump and said that he should be impeached. That's the flip that you're seeing in so many MAGA celebrities who once were super MAGA and now they take a different approach. Take a look at this clip and then we'll dive into the Rogan clip after.
About coming back to the negotiating table. It's like sitting after Pearl Harbor and telling FDR, now's the time to go negotiate with the Japanese. Negotiations are over now. The time for negotiations was before this. And so, yeah, Donald Trump looks, and man, I supported him this last year. I apologize for doing so. It was a bad calculation. At the time, it seemed like the right one. But he should be impeached and removed for this one, and not on some not on some ridiculous Nancy Pelosi. Of course, the Congress will never do it because they're all a bunch of corrupt hacks.
This is the one thing they support. This is like
Donald Trump should be impeached and removed for this. All of his supporters should turn on him. It's the absolute betrayal of everything that he ran and campaigned on and everything that he stood for. And I will say, despite the fact that, Donald Trump supporters have been labeled like a cult following, and that certainly is true for a percentage of his supporters, he is going to lose his coalition over this. I know I don't just speak for myself when I say there are a lot of us who simply will not go along with this. So it's just a devastating mistake. By the way, on top of that,
this was in relation to Donald Trump's attacks on Iran. Remember that whole thing that happened with Iran and him going after Iran, him bombing Iran? That was in relation to that. He felt betrayed over Donald Trump's policy where he said no more war. And then Donald Trump engaged in a lot of war, drone striking another country. And so far, since that moment, Dave Smith has been unequivocal in his disdain of Donald Trump, and it shows up in this clip as well. So let's finally dive into this Rogan clip, and you can see just how annoyed Rogan and Dave Smith appear with Donald Trump, of course, and his second administration. Let's start here.
So I agree with all of that. I'm just saying, once you've made these statements and your administration is in. No, I remember. It was one of the most interesting parts of your.
Have you ever wondered how far a nation can fall before it loses its soul? On the same day that bombs rained down on Gaza, on the same day a wounded Palestinian boy, still on his hospital bed, was being rushed out of a crumbling medical facility under Israeli drone fire. On that very same day, across the desert, under the luxurious lights and polished marble of the United Arab Emirates, Arab Muslims were dancing. Yes, dancing. Let that sink in. A teenage boy in Gaza was in pain and terrified, hearing the buzzing sound of an Israeli drone above his head, a sound that has become a death sentence for so many. That drone was watching the European hospital in Khan Yunis, moments before Israeli airstrikes devastated its courtyard, claiming they were targeting a tunnel allegedly used by Hamas leaders beneath the facility. British surgeon Dr. Tom Potokar, who was inside the hospital during the strike, filmed the aftermath. Shrapnel was everywhere. The air was thick with smoke and dust. "This is the worst I've ever seen," he said. And he's been to Gaza 16 times. In his words, people are exhausted, hungry, malnourished, and mentally broken. Yet even amid the rubble, Gazans cling to life and to dignity. But then, shift your gaze to Abu Dhabi or Dubai. There on that same day, Arab men proudly showcased their women in front of a non-Muslim leader, Donald Trump. Dressed in white, with their hair uncovered, these women were made to perform a traditional dance, not for culture, not for pride, but for approval. Approval from a man who once mocked Muslims, who openly declared, "Give them enough dollars. It's in the silence, the smiles, and the celebrations of those who should have stood beside their brothers and sisters. This is not just a crisis of war, it's a crisis of conscience." Have you ever wondered how far a nation can fall before it loses its soul? On the same day that bombs rained down on Gaza, on the same day a wounded Palestinian boy, still on his hospital bed, was being rushed out of a crumbling medical facility under Israeli drone fire. On that very same day, across the desert.
If you voted for Trump, go ahead and draft yourself into any military branch and step up to the front of the fucking line. Even if you don't meet the physical requirements, even if you're disabled, even if you don't meet the ASVAB score, even if you're a veteran and you voted for him, get your ass back in and go fight for us now.
Mexican immigrations official just deported an American content creator who was a Trump supporter and ironically had this to say about illegal immigration after the presidential elections this year.
I don't know why Latinos are so scared of Donald Trump taking office. What's going to happen is he's going to secure the border and there's probably going to be less immigrants coming in, which is a good thing because that's how the country is supposed to be run. You're going to have to go through a legal process.
So this content creator entered Mexico through a tourist visa, overstayed, and was recently deported by Mexican officials because she doesn't have lawful status. Ironically, she's a Trump supporter living in Mexico. Wild. You guys say that you guys need to do it the right way. You mean we need to do it the right way when we try to go up there to migrate for a better life. But you guys don't need to do it the right way when you guys come down here to live and take advantage of the lower cost of living, among many other things, right? That's what I took away from this video. This is no hate to this content creator, but I was kind of shocked to scroll down some of her videos. Initially, I just kind of wanted to understand the process. Like, damn, that's crazy to see the reverse Uno. But honestly, this is something that a lot of Mexicans have been waiting for Mexican officials to start deporting the Americans, Canadians, and foreigners. But a large part of them are Americans that come down here to take advantage of the lower cost of living and to stretch their dollars a little bit further. But they do so by circumventing our immigration processes because a tourist visa is for 6 months only to come and be a tourist. If you come down here on this tourist visa to live and you're working and making income and you're still living on this tourist visa, you are technically not doing it the right way. In her video, she mentioned she was in the process of obtaining dual citizenship, which is great. However, you still have not done it the right way. While you are in the process of getting citizenship or legalizing yourself, you are still technically in Mexico unlawfully, which is why you were just deported. So it's just kind of crazy to see a Trump supporter preach about how this is how it's supposed to happen. You guys should just do it the right way. But when you guys come down here to our country, you guys don't do it the right way either. Food for thought.
So next time, ask yourself, am I a Trump supporter because I'm ashamed of where I came from? Dig deep, because I feel like that's exactly what that is.
So Latinos for Trump have finally spoken against him. It took y'all long enough. Actually, y'all should have did that shit before y'all even elected this man. Because I'm saying, yes, y'all helped elect this man. And now what's going on in Los Angeles is y'all fault. It is y'all fault. Y'all divided y'all vote. And you put this man in office. And what is he doing? He's going against people who are innocent. He's rounding up anybody and everybody that looks like your demographic. He don't give a fuck about warrants. Hell, I am so happy to see that y'all are out there. The ones that didn't vote for him are out there fighting against these ICE agents and not allow them to take anybody. Now, I'm going to say this. Y'all need to pay attention. because they will deploy the National Guard if they get access to that shit. That is ICE agent director's initiative tonight, is to try to get the National Guard on the ground against everybody that is processing these roundups against ICE agents. So, y'all in my prayers. That's all I can do. Y'all are in my prayers. But Latinos for Trump, y'all asses should be out there. This is y'all fault. This is partly y'all fault that your people are being rounded up like cattle and sent to places that some of them have never seen before. Get y'all asses out there. Don't do a call out on the damn internet or media. Go get on the ground.
Why is it that most people always wait here when they see the consequences? That's when they start, acting. Why do so many people wait to be the ones partakers and experiencers of most of these things before they can listen to other people's warning? Because I remember that, so many people were on social media warning Latinos, oh, you guys don't have to vote for this, including their own people that did not vote for this. Actually told them, you guys cannot be doing this. But yeah, we have a lot of Latinos who actually voted for their own interests. Now, seeking empathy, seeking help, seeking all the sympathy. Oh, why are you people not protesting with us? Why are you people not, talking about what is happening in the Latino community? ICE is deporting us. They are taking every one of us. Why are you people calm about it? That is because you guys decided to vote against your own interests. That's why a lot of people, especially black folks, are deciding to keep silent and watch you all face your consequences yourself. Because, yeah, they told you guys what was going to happen. They literally told everyone what it was going to be like. When you vote against your own interests, there is consequences. And this, my friend, is consequences. Deportation is one of it. So these guys actually felt that when they were telling them that, oh, deportation is coming, they felt that they were never going to be part of the people that was going to get deported. No, make it make sense, my friend. They felt that other people...
Donald Trump is quite literally running away from the topic of Iran and the Middle East while simultaneously providing absolutely no strategy or no vision for what's next in a region where Americans are being attacked on a daily basis. He has no idea what he's doing. The United States is currently devoid of leadership. Last night, when Trump arrived back at Joint Base Andrews on the way back to the White House in D.C., reporters were asking him questions about Iran, and he just straight up ignored them. And when he got back to the White House and was speaking in the Rose Garden, he admired the infrastructure of the White House while reporters were trying to ask about Iran. And all of this was caught on video. But overall, the past 24 hours for both Donald Trump, the United States, and American troops abroad have been disastrous. I want to give you the latest on what's going on with Iran, and I'm going to play these videos for you of Donald Trump just ignoring the media while being confronted about Iran. But before I do any of that, please make sure to subscribe down below, drop a like on the video, comment, let me know what you think about this story. If you're on Apple or Spotify, please make sure to rate the show 5 stars and follow along. And without further ado, I want to get into it. So first and foremost, just as a little bit of an update, in the past 24 hours, Iran has attacked directly or indirectly 15 different countries or their military. You have Israel, of course, the United States, of course, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, Jordan, Iraq, Bahrain, Oman, Syria, Cyprus, and France, Italy, and the United Kingdom by way of different bases in the region. So this war has not died down whatsoever. Iran is still targeting different locations, targeting our allies as well. The United States and Israel continue their bombing campaign in Iran. So there's a lot of questions swirling about what's tomorrow going to look like, what's a week from now going to look like, and if we had a normal president, somebody who knew what they were talking about and could actually point to the Middle East on a map, you might get some answers to those questions. But we have Donald Trump. And so while Americans are being attacked, he is, talking about statues at the White House or posting random articles on Truth Social. And this is just the past 24 hours. Who knows how large this map gets for this war that Donald Trump has started. But I wanted to show you this breakdown from a journalist at The Economist of Donald Trump calling different reporters and kind of actively workshopping different ideas for what might be next for Iran. He called the Washington Post, Axios, the New York Times, ABC, and more outlets last night on the phone and kind of just gave them different ideas for Iran, different answers for all of these different media outlets. He has no idea what's going on. He has no idea what he's doing and no coherent policy. Greg Carlstrom said Trump is basically calling up every journalist in his phone to workshop different timelines and goals for his war. In the past 2 days, he called the Washington Post and said the aim is freedom for the people of Iran, which is completely different than what he's been saying previously. It was, to get rid of their nuclear supply, but also Iran was apparently going to attack us. And now it's about freedom for the people of Iran. Okay. He said to Axios, maybe we can, quote, end it in 2 or 3 days with a deal. He told the New York Times, well, actually, it might be 4 to 5 weeks. I have 3 very good choices of candidates who might take control in Iran. And then he told ABC News, actually, never mind the 3 candidates that he had in mind for Iran.
We voted for Trump because he's promised peace. And Trump, the orange buffoon, the convicted felon, he supposedly promised peace, and I don't know how people can even believe him. Okay, he is just being proven to be a freaking liar. He's a liar all the time. He lies left and right. So I guess the Arab community didn't have enough the last time that he was our president, okay? Because I guess the xenophobic act that the Arab community had last time and all the things that happened in the Arab community, I guess it wasn't enough. I guess it wasn't enough, the travel ban, all these things and all these people's supremacy that was against the Arabs and looking for Arabs to do all kinds of things or atrocities. I guess it wasn't enough. That's the last time. They decided that this time they're gonna vote for the orange buffoon. And what did they got? What did they got? What are the results? Because we are in front of a FAFO moment, but for the big time. And I just don't even want to say the word, okay? They supposedly voted in favor of Trump to protect the GAZA, okay? They just wanted them to protect that piece of land and those people living there. But it happens that we all know because the convicted felon, he's just a liar. He's just a liar. He didn't follow his promise. And actually, when Biden was in power, they got a ceasefire. So it wasn't bombing coming to the GAZA. So as soon as the orange buffoon got in power, the bombing started again, and these people is not getting, okay, any food supplies because the only country that was helping at that time and was willing to get the consequences, okay, that the orange buffoon wanted to impose in anyone that dared to help the people in that region, it was Canada. So it happens that these people, it is starving, is still in that place. And the only solution that the orange buffoon got for them is we're going to remove you of this piece of land and we're going to send you to Jordan and send you to Egypt. But it happens that that doesn't even get solved. And if it wasn't enough with the fateful moment for the history with these people that decided to vote for Donald Trump, okay, to GAZA number 1, they have another fateful moment. And we are being dragged to this one, okay? This fateful moment It's for them, but it's for us too. So we're just being all dragged to suffer the consequences of the people that didn't learn it the first time. I'm just so freaking mad of them. They just decided. The orange buffoon, he just went against Iran. So many people told him not to do it because he opposed everything that Obama does. Okay, if Obama done something, of course he's gonna destroy it because he is a supremacy, and everything that Obama did, he want to destroy it. So Obama got a peace treatment from Iran when Iran was just, getting rid of all the nuclear power that they have. So in the middle of the negotiations, the orange buffoon decided to drop bombs in Iran. It doesn't get any more faithful than this. It does. It is not even way possible. It is not even way possible that the Arabs have more faithful than this. No. On the top of all the deportations that are happening in Dearborn, Michigan, for all the brothers, cousins, all the family members that didn't have their situation in the United States legally, okay, well, they're getting deported too. It is... it is... I don't even know what to say to this. I don't even know what to say to this. And then Iran decided to bomb back the other countries. So at this point, I think it's very fair, like 16 countries involved. The Iran just bombed back with the USA base, some of them some hotels. So the whole Arab region is completely destabilized. So with Israel bombing some countries, the Iran bombing other countries, we bombing Iran, and the orange buffoon, when the press asked him about it, he doesn't answer anything because he wasn't prepared for Iran to just fight back. Okay, he wasn't prepared for that. So now he's losing money like crazy. Fafo moment for the orange buffoon. How many people is getting their Fafo moment in here? I cannot keep I'm losing count right now, okay? Fafo for Trump because he's not getting the money that he used to get from the Arabs in Dubai, and Fafo for the Dubai people because one of the peoples they support and pay for the Orange Buffoon campaign was the people in Dubai. I guess when you make business with the devil, this is what you get. But guys, what do you guys think? Comment below. I want to know your opinion about it because I took you to this rabbit hole, but it's just a fafo. It's just a fafo all the way. It's the fafo for Trump. It is the fafo for the Arabs. It is the fafo for the Arabs for Trump. It is the fafo for Dubai. It is the fafo all over the place, you guys. I cannot keep on this way. I was laughing all day. I just can't. This is just I'm just telling you, these stories made themselves. It's just like I cannot keep up with this, okay, guys. Okay, activate the notification bell that way you don't miss any video. Take care of yourself.